Hey, you guys. Sorry, I just washed my hair earlier. I'm trying to get it to dry. Um, Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my videos. Lately, I've gotten some really good comments, some good encouragement. Thank you, seriously, for all the love and support and encouragement. Mwah! For my return subscribers and viewers, I appreciate you guys for watching. And for anyone new, well, maybe stick around, check me out, see if you like my content. Um, okay. I've talked about this before. Um, and occasionally, I try my best to stay away from it. Okay. I don't watch these particular channels. I don't look, for the negative. But you have to kind of tread softly, like when you're on YouTube or Facebook and, running across things as far as the Watts case is concerned or Shanann is concerned. It still shocks me sometimes that you can accidentally step off into a web and not know. And it's still devastating to see it. The the attacks on her, the way people discuss her and talk about, I mean, it's just unreal. I guess it never stops shocking me and getting to me, even though I didn't know her personally. And I'm a person who really likes to keep my energy balanced as best I can. Um, it's just so freaking unfair and wrong. Um, so anyway, I ran across this video earlier, and here's what does it for me. I just want to talk directly to them. I just feel like nitwits. Okay, that's how I'm gonna put it. So it's like this. I'm finding, and I just ran across another one, which the title of her video can fool you. See, they're getting slick with this. And you'll think that you're just running across, some casual information or someone, oftentimes I'll click into people's videos who I think might be like myself, just casually, whatever, discussing the case. And I assume that everyone is supportive of Shanann Watts and the little girls, and since they were the victims in this case. And a lot of times I will be looking for, thinking, oh, here's another creator like myself. I hadn't seen them around, hadn't seen their video, and the titles can be tricky, and you can fall into stuff like that. And then it didn't take me 5 seconds of scanning through her video, and what I heard was basically this woman was sympathizing. I know there's a lot of you mothers out there that don't get recognized, and you're actually being a mother. You're actually spending hands-on time with your children and not on social media and blah, 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 say blah, blah, blah. Okay, okay. You know what? Just like I made a video the other day talking about why she had the career she did, and because she fucking wanted to. And you know what? Just because you're a mother, let me make this blatantly freaking clear to these people who don't seem to get it, especially when it comes to Shanann Watts. Just because you are a mother in this life does not mean that you stop living. Does that make sense? It does not mean that you no longer have hopes, dreams, goals, time for yourself, schedules, plans, creative ideas, and other freaking things to do. Sorry, I guess some of you didn't get the memo. And at the same time, it does not mean for 1 second that you are not a loving, devoted, caring, hands-on mother who can do all of that. Derp. Just because some of these nitwits out here can't do it or don't have the energy that she had. So, all right. It's just, there's so much I want to say about this. Let me try to calm down and get it out in a certain way while I can. It's just that it's not fair and it's not right, okay? Back in 2018, I feel like Shanann didn't get to do a fraction of what women are doing now. Mothers. Okay, we live in a society now where literally, I mean, I literally looked at this woman's video and I did leave a comment, and I know in a way that's a waste of my energy. I should just let it go, keep myself balanced, and put it into my videos or put it into something positive. But at the same time, I also feel like sometimes for me to leave a comment and leave a broader perspective of things, sort of in support of Shanann, is a good thing and it spreads more awareness. But really, you're just falling into a snake pit when you fall into comment sections like that, and when you pick up on the fact, the energy of the channel you just stumbled upon, thinking that it was something else. Um, but, like I said, I told her, I said, I find it really ironic and really odd that a woman, a lot of women actually, sit up on YouTube, on their own social networks and their own social medias and running their channels and um, getting followers and getting subscribers and trying to make money off of talking about a woman whose life was taken along with her children by her husband, and she used social media. She was worked for herself. She sold certain products, and she used social media to promote that, as well as to do her lives and activities at home and share videos and pictures of her children and activities with her husband and her family, like millions and millions and millions, almost everybody in America is doing now. Like, it is I was like, seriously? Literal? Are you serious? Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, literally everybody and their grandmama and great grandmama and all the kids and everybody's on social media now. And they've got their kids on there doing talks or TikToks. And I hadn't made it to TikTok yet. Sorry, I'm behind. Doing TikToks and the whole family's joining in. Whatever. So you get what I'm trying to say. I just find it so odd and bizarre. That's the norm now. I'm not going to say whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's not my place to say that. It's not my place to judge that. Okay? I do think that it's really blown up and it's really odd and crazy that, like, literally everybody, okay? Because I remember back years ago where it was just like a thought, like a dream, like a distant thing. Nobody knew anything about that kind of thing, and only a few people were able to get a YouTube channel or able to, people weren't really branching out and putting their families, making videos and doing skits and, creating content. That was only a few select artistic type of people that ventured out like that. People were doing blogs and they were doing, whatnot. But okay. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? As a woman, you're sitting up on YouTube with a YouTube channel, on social media yourself, talking about how you have kids, and talking to other mothers about how they mother and how they parent, and literally going on about how Shanann Watts was on social media too much and had her kids on there and should have been a hands-on. I'm confused. Okay? And you're using that as a platform to talk about this woman this way and ridicule her and bring her down and bash her and smear her memory and her name. to make your own channel grow, to grow your own subscribership and make money. Yet you're doing the exact same fucking thing. And you have kids at home too. Like what gives here? It doesn't make any sense, okay? And Shanann didn't get to do a fraction of what you people get to do. Okay? She was only on Facebook. I don't even know if there was a TikTok or any of that at the time. 2018. It was just before all of that blew up and got popular. Shanann did not have a TikTok. She did not have a Twitter. She did not have a damn YouTube channel. She did not have a Snapchat. She did not have an Instagram, as far as I know. She only was on Facebook. And she was just beginning to branch out a little bit and use it as a medium to do her fucking job, promote her products, and to share like everybody else uses Facebook for. Every other mother in the world shares pictures and videos of their babies, their kids, their children for all their family and all their friends to see, and does lives and, shows activities going on at the house and whatnot. I want to know how is she different? Why? Why not Shanann? Why is there this group of women, especially women? There's some men that come down on her too and talk a lot of bullshit. But why is it this particular group of women that go after her like this and just ridicule and put a microscope and tear her to shreds? This beautiful mother, this woman who did nothing wrong to any of them, who lost her life in such a horrible way, who had all of this light and love and charisma and wanted to be the best at everything she did. What gives that this particular group of women can't stand it that she was on social media? And compared to now, what are we, 5 years later, 6 years later? She didn't even get to do a fraction of what you get to do, of what I bet every last one of y'all's asses. Most of these women talking this smack either have never had kids and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. And really, if you haven't had kids and you don't have kids, I don't give a fuck if you have a PhD or a master's in psychology or whatever y'all call yourselves, studying behavioral health or what. I don't care who you are. If you don't have kids and you haven't had kids and you're talking smack about another mother, you don't get a fucking opinion, really, to me. Okay? You may have areas of expertise and you may be able to truly help situations that need your help, children that need your focus, and women that really need your focus and your expertise. That's all great and fine. But in this particular area, what you are doing is not helping anybody. You are ganging up and ridiculing a woman who can no longer defend herself, who lost her life in a betraying, horribly vicious way by her husband and her children at the same time. Okay? What you're doing is not helpful at all. Okay? It's putting out the energy that women who are mothers can't have any other focus in life, any other dreams, any other goals. They have to hide themselves away while everybody else gets to have a social media. Everybody else can be free to post pictures of their children, videos of their children. They can do TikToks, whatever the fuck you call that shit, with their babies and kids. Like, what's his name? Mr. Monzingo. Y'all check him out. I love Pete Monzingo. If you're familiar with him, redheaded Pete. And Pete is the only one who is tall, who's normal size, who was born into a family of little people. Okay, let me be correct in how I say that because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I love Pete. But he has a great story. He's written a book. I love his family so much. His mother and his brother, Mr. Monzingo. I don't know his first name, But his brother, Mr. Montzingo, is a teacher, and they're little people, and he has a channel, and he does all kinds of stuff here on YouTube and TikToks with his daughter. He has two cute little baby girls, Mr. Montzingo, Olivia and, oh, I forget the older one's name, but check them out, okay? Look them up. They're adorable. They are a beautiful family. I love them so much. They bring so much joy to my heart, and they love each other tremendously. The mom, the dad, the two boys, the sons. There's a sister or two. There's three siblings. And Pete is the only one. He was born to a mother who had, I don't know, I don't want to say it the wrong way, who had dwarfism, okay? They all have dwarfism. I think that's what it's called. And they're little people. Well, Pete is the only one that was born to a mother like that. And like by the time he was literally a few months old, she could barely hold him. Like he grew up to be 6 feet tall. Great family. I love them so much. But the point is, the dad and his daughter, Mr. Montzingo, and his little girl, they do TikToks every day, and she freaking loves it. It is the culture now, and it hasn't destroyed their family, and it doesn't take time away from them loving each other and spending quality times together. If anything, it's bettered their lives, and it's shared their beautiful family with the rest of the world. So get over it. For you nitwits who keep doing this, and excuse me, but the nitwits that keep doing it, I know where Shanann was coming from, and I didn't even have to know her personally. I get the whole thing, because I felt the same way. It's just that back when I was raising my two boys, who are 25 and 27 now, I didn't get the privilege of having this kind of technology. There were no smartphones. I didn't have internet back then. I got on Facebook when I was almost 30. No, MySpace. I started with MySpace when I was 28. Okay, my kids were getting up in preteen. By the time I really got full throttle on Facebook, my kids were almost grown. I was in my mid-30s. And then YouTube came. So, I started late with all this. But I'll tell you something. If I had had the privilege of having a smartphone where I could have recorded my beautiful babies and look back on their beautiful videos right now, 20-something years later, I wish to God, I wish y'all would have said, I wish y'all would say something to me about it. I would have had my babies all up in the videos, every step, every milestone, and would have been sharing it right along with everybody else, with my friends and family on Facebook. And if part of my job was to do shit from home and market my products, and my kids were cute, and I would have put it out here, get all up in this camera, because we're trying to make some money, because we're hungry, we need to pay some bills here. It's the culture now. I get so fucking sick and tired of people doing this, saying these types of things, It's like, okay, so where was I? So Shanann only got to do a fraction of what she could have done had she lived, had she been allowed to live and carry on her light and love and inspiration and motivation that she had carried on to this earth with her beautiful daughters. She didn't get to have Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, all the things that people have now. Yet these people want to keep on talking smack about her having a Facebook and doing Facebook Lives and using her social media, when really that's all she was doing. That's all she had. It's not like, but I'll tell you something. I think if she had been allowed to live, I think that she and the girls, just like Mr. Montzingo and other parents, nobody bashes him for it, and good thing. They shouldn't. I don't see this. I don't see people. I mean, I know there are things like this going on. They call it, I have to be careful what words I say, but cyber B word, and there are things like this that kind of go on, but for the most part, it's becoming more acceptable. Everybody's on social media and they do things with their kids. And for one person to be targeted like that and isolated and ridiculed and shamed after her death, her murder, and I feel like had she lived, that Shanann would love TikTok and be rocking the fuck out of TikTok. I feel like she would love YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. I feel like she would have been rocking all of them. And the little girls would love TikTok. Talk, whatever the hell you call it. Get so damn aggravated. But whatever. My son's been telling me I need to get on TikTok for years. And eventually I'm going to catch up with the rest of the world. I have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a lot of things, but mainly I'm YouTube, Facebook. But eventually I need to get over to TikTok too. But I feel like had Shanann Watts lived, been allowed to live, that she would have loved to have all of those things and she would be rocking them and doing well within her business and promoting her products to make a better life for her children, her family. And I think the little girls would have enjoyed it, doing TikToks, and it would be great. Who am I to judge? Who are we to judge that? Saying what parents, what's wrong and what's right for families and parents when you don't know, you're not living there. And I think that had she lived and had a YouTube channel, not only would she be doing her products and promoting and earning her living in a way that also enables her flexibility, not only more time with the family and kids, but time for herself to grow as a human being, because I could sense that about her. I could pick up that, smell it a mile away, because it's in me too. She was the type of woman that was here on this earth to be introspective as well. She was learning and growing, getting into her 30s, just as I did, and wanted to continue developing herself as a person, not just this surface being that certain groups of people try to peg her as. This selfish, I want to sell my products, it's all about me stomping around. No, I could see that she was very introspective. She cared very deeply about people, especially her husband and children and her family, her parents, her brother. And she wanted to find something she could do that was flexible, to make the income, to have the better life, to provide better for her children, but at the same time, something she could grow in as a human being. And at that time, even if those products weren't worth a damn, I don't know, I've never used them. Even if that career wasn't such a great career, like all these people want to gang up and say and talk smack about MLM and whatever, what have you, even if that wasn't the best place for her to be at that time, she thought it was. For where she was in her life at that time, she believed wholeheartedly that what she was involved in was helping others genuinely and truly, and that she could basically kill two birds with one stone, just like I would like to do. Who wouldn't? I would like to find something that makes me feel more purposeful, like I am actually helping others to a degree, and I get to enjoy it, and I get to network, and I get to learn and grow and make social media videos, and sure, get a little bit known and meet people, and I'm helping them at the same time by selling a product I believe in, but at the same time, I'm making motherfucking money. Like, and feeling purpose and having more time for my family and getting to do certain, everybody wants that, not just Shanann. It didn't make her a bad mother or a selfish alien. Most of y'all talking shit either don't have kids, never have had kids, and you really don't know what the hell you're talking about until you do have them and you're walking in those shoes, those experiences. And again, I don't give a damn whether you have a PhD, a HPD, a master's. I don't care what your area of expertise is. If you don't have kids, never had kids, zip it. Because you really don't fucking know. Okay? Or most of y'all talking shit. The other half of you do have kids at home. And guarantee you, every last one of y'all has a social media. A Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram, a Snapchat, a YouTube, something that you share pictures of those children and videos of those children with your friends and family. Or you do what you do on that social media. Or you have a YouTube where you sit up and you attract followers and subscribers. And a great deal of the time by running your mouth about a deceased woman and her level of mothering and running her down, tearing her apart, trying to make money off of that, ridiculing her for the exact shit that y'all know y'all do. So my question has always been, why not Shanann? Why? What is it about her that you fools don't want her to have a Facebook? Like, what the fuck? Can you tell me? No, better yet, don't. Because I don't even allow y'all on my channel anyway. If I go through my comments, I don't allow that. This is not and never will be a disrespect to Shanann channel. You can take that one to the bank. So better yet, just save it. I don't need you to tell me anything. But for my people, my subscribers, and people who watch my videos, you know, see, I hear a lot of these other people, that's a sellout to me. Like the one woman with all the vocal fry, and she's a behavioral therapist, and I think it's like the obsession chick. I'm not going to say the exact name, but anyway, these people sell out to me. That's like, I would love to make money too. Sure, I'm struggling right now. I don't even have a car. I have a moped. I'm struggling to save for a used car. Like you know, of course, we all want to make money off things we create and things that, but one thing I will not do, okay, is sit up and dishonor the innocent and jump on the bandwagon because everyone else is doing it to make money, to make, like, exploit that. That's just, oh my God. And I hear them in certain videos. They make it real clear. Now listen, leave me some comments and let me know what you think. They want to make it real clear how neutral they are, how they are not defending her. It's sick. Okay, a lot of them I have listened to, and I have to just stop. They just sound manipulative to me. They don't, in a professional sense, especially people claiming to be professionals and experts and behavioral therapists and people who want to help children, and it just sounds sick to me. You know, and that's what makes me feel like fucking sell out. Like, you could support this woman, this victim, but instead you sit there for monetary gain and egg your followers on and try to, you build up this vortex, this fucking hatred, this nasty energy that goes out and ripples out, that demeans, disrespects, downgrades, mocks, makes fun of this beautiful soul who was taken so long before her time, so tragically, viciously, and her beautiful children. tear her apart as a mother, as a human, everything she did, everything she thought, everything she bought, her whole purpose here on this earth. How the fuck does that make you feel at night? How do you even sleep at night? Just saying. Hey, I do a lot of shit too. I'm human. I make all kinds of mistakes. I'm not self-righteous. But when it comes to shit like this, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to let you know it. Take it how you will. But that's how they are. They're like, they'll make a statement and then they'll make some kind of awful statement that really eggs people on, as far as her weaponizing the little girl's hair, or the way she did this and that, and those awful videos, and just forcing those kids to do this, that, and that. They just talk a lot of smack, horrible smack, right? That, like, where the fuck do you even see that? Like, that things that, anyway, and they'll make a statement and then they'll try to cover the track a little bit, like, well, I don't know, just tell me what you think. Leave me some okay, so this is a way for them to provoke the audience and, of course, get more reactions. And they'll allow people to just shred her in the comments. The more for them, the more their algorithm, the more money for them. It's just to me, it's just a stank ass sellout. That's what I think of it. So I would rather my little channel struggles. Hey, I finally made it to my 1,000 though, and I'm working on 2. So thank you guys. I love you for that. For all the support. And my little channel though is still small. It still struggles. Some of my videos monetize, some of them not, because some of them are suitable for advertisements and some of them aren't, because I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I need the freedom to do that in some of my videos. So it is what it is. But I would rather, have to work harder or just be authentic to who I am and what I feel is right with some sense of integrity, than do something like that and, attract in mobs of people to get on this bandwagon of bashing this woman who's no longer alive, whose family is out there grieving still, who was truly a beautiful soul, a beautiful, innocent person, a mother, a friend, a daughter, a wife, who I feel very deeply picked that up on her energy from the moment I started watching her videos. I feel very deeply that she cared so deeply about people, and she had so much she wanted to do in this life. And in my other videos, I've talked a lot about this. The dark, hateful, envious, insecure, self-conscious energy inside of her covert narcissistic husband, who I also believe had some psychopathy and some other shit going on in there. But, I'm not a pro, but it just, man, and I've covered a lot of elements of this case, and I've still got a lot more to cover. But where I'm coming from, and it means something to me because of the experiences I've had in my life. I like spreading awareness, and I like opening the perspective, because it's just something deep within me. I really can't stand it when truly innocent people are being manipulated, trapped, sucked up in mental traps, abused, used, any of those things, thought of in a manner that was completely untrue to them. I have been through that myself. I've had someone come through my life and been good to them. Know in my heart, in my mind, right where I stood and all the effort that I put out and what kind of human being that I really was. But yet, because of them and their personality disorder and all that was going on and the lies and the webs, I would have entire groups of people not knowing me at all, believing all kinds of horrible things. And I know what it's like to deal with a situation like that and to be an honest, loving person who puts so much effort and love and devotion into every fucking thing you touch because you love life so much and you want to continue to learn and grow, and to have people hate you for it, to have people envy you for it, to have people feel threatened by you. Sometimes the person you love the most, it is the most horrific thing to discover that. And I've lived through it, and I believe with all of my soul that is exactly what was going on in the dynamics with Chris and Shanann, too. And just the whole freaking thing, man. And it just makes me think to myself, how, oh my God, how unfair. Which, no, life isn't fair, but if I'll just say this, I can do my small part in it, though. Damn straight, I can do my small part to continue to contribute to this awareness and to knowledge about things that I have experience with. I can do whatever I can in my small way to support and defend people like that and open up the collective perspective and contribute, what I know, my knowledge and experience. It is what it is, but it's better than nothing, you know? But yeah, I feel like had she been allowed to live, she would be doing beautifully right now. She and the little girls, and probably away from Chris and thriving in her life, thriving, literally thriving in her life, and maybe still thriving, or that's what I wanted to finish that point, or maybe she would have moved on to a different career. Maybe through her networking and social media skills, falling into something even better, full of more purpose and more income rather than MLM. But at that time, she believed in it. And you put yourself in those shoes for the people that sit up and do all this crap about her. You put yourself in those shoes. You think back to a time in your life when you might have been younger or had kids or needed to juggle a bunch of different things or whatever. To a time in your life where you really believed in something. You didn't have malicious intent. You weren't trying to do anything bad to anybody. You weren't trying to be selfish. You just really believed in it. And you really wanted to do right by your family. And you were trying to juggle a lot of things. And that was the best fit for you at that time. And that's what was up. That's what it is. But she wasn't allowed to live so that she could keep growing and discovering. And that's what we do in life. I've had people hate me and hate on me and ridicule me and look at me a certain way in the past for some of my job choices. And you know, which that's a whole different story, a whole different day. You have a lot of regrets there too, but I had my reasons. I had to follow what was in here and do what was best for me at certain times. And of course, my children factored into that when they were young and growing up. Of course. A mother is always thinking of her children. So it is what it is. It's like But I don't think a lot of these people want to open their perspective or have empathy and understanding. I think that they enjoy doing this. I think that they enjoy picking this woman apart, this innocent human being who I personally feel like is so nothing like the horrible things that they say about her. You know, I think they enjoy it. A lot of them fucking enjoy it. And like Shanann's dad and mom and family has mentioned before, they are making a mockery of this woman's life and her saying the most horrible things about her to make a fucking buck, to make money. And while they're doing that, it's creating this awful vortex of, ugh, just the nastiest attitudes and hatefulness. And some of them claim to be professionals. I would think twice. I've said this before. This one person, if I found out my professional therapist was on YouTube talking smack like that about a woman and a case, I would really be shocked. I would think twice before I wanted to go back to her, before I would trust her as my therapist anymore. Like, just because of the way this woman was doing it, okay? She was trying to make it sound acceptable and professional and reasonable. But I picked up on all the tricks and all the swerves, and it just because your voice tone is a certain way, it doesn't mean we don't pick up on what the fuck you're trying to do. Yeah, I saw it all. Like, I didn't get to finish making that video series about her videos and how she would take certain clips and edit them in such a way to where it looked really bad on Shanann. And then she would put her own fucking narrative to what was going on with Shanann and the kids in the whole scenario and what Shanann must have been doing right before that and what she was thinking and all this crazy shit. I'm just like, wow. Wow. So yeah, I would definitely, like, I don't know. It's just, but that's the bottom line, is that just because you're a mother, you don't stop living, and you still have hopes and dreams and ideas, and you got to juggle a lot. Do we make sacrifices for our children? Absolutely, we do. Sure. And we try to choose what is going to be best to where we can give them as much love and attention and hands-on devotion as possible. And things that, we're not, of course, we don't just selfishly, I'm like a teenager, I've got to do whatever I want. I don't care who it, no, of course not. Of course we make reasonable choices and sacrifices, and we put a lot of thought into everything we do when we are parents, when we are mothers. But at the same time, we're still human, okay? And I just don't get why people don't give her a fucking break. She didn't do anything but just live her life and love her family and make appearances on Facebook Lives and sell her products. She didn't do anything to these people. And then get her life devastatingly ripped out from under her by this freako-ass husband and her children. And why everyone wants to continue to attack her for it, I don't know. But it's this thing of not wanting her to be on social media. It is not fucking fair. Why can everybody else be on social media, though? Like, the whole world. I mean, like, seriously. Shanann didn't get to do a fraction of what y'all get to do, of what people are doing now. And she would love it if she was here, and she would be rocking it. and probably not only selling her products and thriving in her career, pun intended, uh, and sharing her children and their growth and activities and whatever the hell, but possibly even having her own YouTube channel. She would love YouTube, podcast, because again, I could tell she was that type of woman who, at certain times in her lives, not only would she be doing things with the kids or discussing her products, but she would get very introspective. She was trying to start getting comfortable going down that road and talking publicly about those kind of things, talking about her life with Chris and, you know, her insecurities as a woman. And just like I started 5 or 6 years, 7 years ago, eking my way along, making Facebook videos, long before I had my YouTube channel. It was in my mind that I wanted to build up to that one day, but you have to start somewhere. And I remember, the first few videos just kind of awkwardly feeling my way around and talking about things and, putting them on there. Some people don't want to be public. They don't want to speak publicly, make public content, speak to the public, share in an intimate, open, authentic, candid way. Well, I do. I did. And I think she was like that too. It's okay for the folks who don't, but get off the backs of those of us who do, who can, and who will. Don't hate. Don't be pissed just because, I think a lot of these biddies are just sitting up at home, literally maybe likely wishing they could have the energy that Shanann had, the forthrightness and the confidence to push herself. And I could tell that she wasn't, I can feel those energies about people, even if I didn't know them. Okay. I could tell that she wasn't all the way. None of us are in our confidence, but I could tell she was working on it. I could tell she had some self-doubt and some insecurities, but she was working her way into a lot of things and working on a lot of things. Okay. Same way I started. And I finally got to the point where I just started busting them out, man. I would Facebook for at least 3 or 4 years straight before my YouTube channel. I would just jump on there and just nail it. Like, just start talking. Blah. And, which my kids were grown at the time, but had they been little, they would have been up in it too. And I wish somebody would say something about it. Because I know damn well I loved my children and how devoted to them I was. Social media doesn't change that. So, but yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot more I could say about this. That always happens to me. Sometimes, I just make my points or off the top of my head. It's something that's very important to me to get out. And sometimes, right when I click it off, I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot to mention. But if that happens, I'll make a part 2. But yeah, I just don't, and I've got other areas where I might not be as gracious, where I might even be petty. I don't know. I'm human. I have character defects, but I work very hard on myself to be aware of those things and deal with them as they come up. So, yeah, as far as me trying to be condescending or self-righteous or whatever, I have moods just like any other person. But this particular topic, this particular type of situation, and coming from women towards this other woman, it's like, what is it about Shanann that they cannot stand this particular group of women on the internet and out in the world? I think it's jealousy. Downright pathetic, nasty old envy and jealousy of her beauty, her courage, her strength, her energy, and her ability to, even if she was afraid, she felt the fear and did it anyway. Even if she was a little insecure or just starting out, her take charge, willing to take some risk in order to grow and find things out in her life and not just sit back in the corner like her covert narcissistic husband and a lot of people out there that would rather sit in the corner and complain and play the victim, scapegoat other people, blame them, and sit back and secretly hate on and resent and undermine everybody that's fucking doing the damn thing, that's walking the walk, that's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. That, yes, has insecurities just like they do, but they're coping with those insecurities differently, you know? Well, all right, guys. I think I've said about all I need to say in this one. And I might make a part two to this, but I think I've pretty much conveyed the point I wanted to convey. It's not helpful. It's not supporting women. It's not supporting mothers. It's not encouraging. And for people who stumble across that, it's making women all over feel like, oh, you know, if I dare to be myself and be authentic and motivated and want to have a career in sales or, want to have a social media career or platform, or if I want to have any of these dreams and hopes, and also because I'm a mother, I'm going to be shamed and ridiculed and talked about in that way. And it's just, again, I think it comes down to plain old nasty ass jealousy and envy, because these particular types of women that are doing this to her, I don't care how they look, how they um, come across as intellectual or professional. I don't care who they are. I think something within them is deeply insecure and can't stand her energy. I mean, the fact that they would go on and on, that's the first thing they do, rather than focus on the person who took their life. Okay. And at the same time, they are still buying into the lies of the covert narcissist. Of course, they're going to put it and blame it on their victims. That's their trademark. So these people are still buying into some. And at the same time, that's why I've made videos going very in depth about what goes on behind the scenes with a covert narcissist. A lot of these women, and men are involved too. There are a lot of men who smear and bash and go on about Shanann Watts, but in different ways and different reasons. But a lot of these women, a lot of these people in general who do this, here's the thing. There's a missing gap. There's a puzzle piece that they can't connect because it's difficult to. They've never had the experience. They don't have it in their frame of reference. They haven't studied it. It's never happened to them. And I will say, yes, it is very hard for the general public to fathom, to even begin to fathom the madness that goes on behind closed doors with a covert narcissist. Okay, and there are a lot of people out there that are so unversed in this type of thing. Either, they just don't know. And I was one of them until I had to live through it, which, I come from a family of different types of disorders and things, addictions. And, I've been in therapy off and on most of my life, and I've been passionate about psychology and study. So this is, I'm pretty well versed in certain things, and it's a passion for me. But there are people out there that haven't done those things, or you know, they just don't readily have the knowledge. And I'm not saying they're bad people or judging them or anything like that, but yes, it's very hard for the average everyday human to just know off the top of their head to look at a couple like that. There are people out there that are literally thinking, and that is the mode they're stuck in, that this woman had to have done something to make him do what he did to her and the girls. And that is a fucked up, backwards, ignorant way of thinking. He wasn't provoked into it. And that is what I lived through, the exact same thing. But these personality types, most people aren't familiar with. They don't know this stuff. They've never been exposed to it. And even me, before I was exposed to it and had to live through it, I wasn't educated on it. So, yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this one up, and I may end up doing a part two. I'm going to have to get this one put together and edited. I think I'm about to run out of space, but before I go, I just want to make the point that, yes, there are people that really believe, okay, that the victim, and this is so unfair, I can't stress it enough, that is exactly what these abusers, predators, narcissists want to get away with. That is what that's their dream come true, is for all of you to blindly believe that they are the victim. I've explained this in some of my videos about the covert narcissistic type especially. They are stuck in this little childlike victim cycle all of their life and being addicted to needing to be the victim, needing to play the victim and scapegoat all of their issues off onto somebody else. And it's a whole complex cycle to learn about this personality. And oftentimes you won't even be able to fathom this personality in your wildest fucking nightmares or dreams until you are exposed to it. But yeah, you guys, I'm sorry I had to keep breaking this up, but this point that I'm trying to conclude with will probably have to lead me into another video, and we'll take it up in another one at a different time. But I want people to really understand, a lot of times in a situation like with the Watts case and Chris Watts and his personality and the scapegoating of Shanann and the blaming things on her, and that is their personality type, during not just because of what happened in the end and the vicious taking of the lives of his wife and children, but all throughout a relationship with a person like him. They are constantly victimizing themselves, playing the victim. And a lot of times the public, friends, family won't know anything about this. This is a hidden side of them, a side they're very ashamed of, very self-conscious about. And only the partner at home sees that side. And they hate themselves for it. And they got a lot going on in their mind, just kind of like what was going on with them baby reindeer in that show, that Netflix show, that guy, all that toxic shame. So oftentimes, yes, they are putting things off on the partner, trying to direct all the attention to being dominated and controlled and victimized by their wife, by their partner, like Chris wanted to put that onto Shanann. And oftentimes, no, as I have explained in other videos, it is they who are controlling everything. It is they who are afraid to lose control of the manipulation and the games and the weaving and the webs and the playing victim and the pity and all of the stuff that they have created. Okay, it's this whole complicated thing, but it is really they who have people under a lot of coercive control and walking on eggshells, or they might have a temper tantrum, or it might hurt their feelings. Or I need to do a total video just about control, about the secret ways that we can control people, that people can control you without you even knowing you're being controlled. See, a lot of times the average public and the average person doesn't have a lot of insight into this stuff if they haven't lived with it, had experience with it, studied it, and been around it a lot in their life. They just won't know. So naturally, there's a lot of people out there. That's what Watts wants. You to believe that he was so victimized by his wife and just provoked and driven. That's the idea with this certain group of people. They really believe that this man was provoked and driven crazy by so much mistreatment from his domineering wife that he could be provoked, and her spending the money and, all the things that they talk about and they list and they ridicule her for. The way she spoke and the way she walked and the way they really have it in their brain that this man was provoked to that degree to just snap one day and take all of this brewing anger that was Shanann's fault, of course, out on his wife, pregnant wife, no less, and innocent little daughters. Make it make sense to me, people. Make it make sense to yourself. Okay? Think about it. But see, if you don't, but people don't. They don't. If they just don't have that deeper insight, that deeper experience, like some of us do, they can't fathom. That's human nature. And I get it. I can't fathom either. It's hard to wrap your mind around, just like O.J. Simpson, just like Chris Watts. There are people in this world that when you look at them, it would be very hard to fathom that such a charming, charismatic, seemingly sweet, kind father, husband, everybody loves, would be able to pull off such a thing, would be able to do such a grisly thing. But Watts did it. And so did O.J. Simpson. Whether O.J. had accomplices or not, or actually did it with his bare hands on his own, which is really hard for me to fathom, even more hard for me to believe than Chris Watts, because of O.J.'s everything. But they're capable of it. They have a whole different personality behind closed doors. And I'm very familiar with these personalities, unfortunately, for a great deal of my life. But yeah, that's a big problem. That's a thing. They have a lot of these certain people in certain crowds believing they were provoked into it. That Chris Watts was provoked and so mistreated. And it wasn't that. It was him all along. It was his issues all along. Okay? And it's a deep and complex thing. And Shanann was the fall guy. Of course, the scapegoat for everything. I've talked about this in other videos too. But I'm going to conclude this because this is leading me into another topic and another point that's very important, but I'll conclude it later on in another video. Okay? Thanks for watching. Leave me some comments. If you're new here, stick around and hit subscribe and share my videos to help get awareness out and help me continue building my channel. Thank you for being here.